Hello and thanks for watching Hook Legends. I'm Henry, your host. Today I want to talk to you guys. I got quite a bit of information I want to give you. The topic for today's video is going to be the Thermocline. You know, if you're going to be successful fishing in the summertime, you definitely need to understand how fish relate to the Thermocline. Now, in the past, I put together a previous video and I broke it all down for you. Now, in that video, I used some technical terms, and today I'm going to keep it simple. We're going to break down the layers of the water and how the fish relate to it. Now, before we get into that, there's some details I need to talk to you about. It's hot. These thunderstorms are rolling in and out, guys. It's hard to get out here. It's hard to put in time on the water. I mean, probably while I'm talking here, you're going to hear some thunder, and there's a storm on the way. We're getting storms just about every single day here now in North Florida, so it really makes it very challenging to get out on the water. That coupled with the fact, guys, that some of my fish catching is starting to catch up with me. You know, I got to give my thumb a rest. Some of you may or may not know that from time to time I have a little bit of trigger finger with the thumb, you know, and I've had some treatments for it, but I kind of need to take it easy for a while. You know, a combination of fishing, trolling motor on this particular pontoon boat is remote control, video editing with the mouse. I won't go on and on about this, guys, but I'm gonna need to give this thumb a rest. You know, in the summertime, the fish, the good news is you can find them. You can find them by the hundreds or the thousands once you locate them. You know, they can be a little lethargic though, and you're gonna have to make multiple casts a lot of times in order to catch a good match of fish, but they can be caught. Okay, so I think I kind of covered my basics here a little bit, and you know, we're gonna go take a break to acknowledge our sponsors. And as always, I want to say thanks for watching these videos. Thanks for your support. You know, if you like these videos and you haven't subscribed, please do me a favor right now. Please reach up, click subscribe and like, and make sure you click the notification bell so you'll be alerted when future videos are released. So we're going to take a break. We'll be right back to the particulars. Okay, as always, guys, we're going to jump into the particulars. I want to say this, guys, my videos are never scripted, so I pretty much just kind of shoot from the hip or from the mind. And today I want to talk to you about the Thermocline. You know, there seems to be a belief that crappie can't be caught or are hard to catch during the summer, even during the dog days of summer. And I'm always amazed at how when I go out fishing, there's about a 4, 5, maybe 6 month period of time where, you know, right after spring, when I don't see another crappie fisherman until the fall. Okay, everybody goes off and do some shell cracker fishing or bluegill fishing, and I maybe do a little bit of that myself because it seems like the popularity in the summertime for a lot of fishermen just kind of goes away. You know, and everyone wants to go off and chase the other species of panfish. But I want to tell you, you know, you can definitely catch some nice size crappie without having to move around a whole lot. You're going to need to do your research as always, and that's what we're going to get into in the details of this video. So let's go ahead and talk about the Thermocline, guys. The Thermocline is this. Basically in the summertime, and not all lakes will set up in a Thermocline. Okay, you have to have the right conditions, depth, water clarity, so on and so forth. But in this particular lake, as a lot of lakes, a Thermocline will set up. A Thermocline basically consists of this: 3 layers of water. Now in the previous video I got into some technical names, the Epler, Limleon, or something I forgot. I can't remember what they were, but we're gonna keep this simple. There's 3 layers of water that you need to understand. There's the uppermost layer, which goes from the surface down to a certain depth. And that upper layer is the layer that interacts all the way back to the shallows where the vegetation is. So the vegetation is helping to produce and put oxygen into the water. So that topmost layer, and it's also interacting with the atmosphere or the air. It's above the waterline, right? So from the waves churning and the vegetation at that level, you know, most of the vegetation is at that level because sunlight can penetrate, and you know, most vegetation requires sunlight. So that layer is going to be your most oxygenated layer, but it's also going to be the hottest layer, you know, because the sun will only penetrate so far, and it's going to depend on the water clarity. It's going to get warm. So that's the top layer. That's that top layer, guys. I'm going to jump and talk about that bottom layer next. I'm going to skip this one. This is the important one, but I'm going to skip it for now. We're going to go to this bottom layer. That bottom layer, that layer has your, since the sunlight doesn't penetrate it as much and warm it up, that layer is going to be your cooler water, okay? Cooler water is more dense, and that dense water is going to settle down to the bottom. So you're probably thinking, that's where the fish are. No, it's not, okay? Chances are that it's not. And the reason for that is, since that layer is down a little bit deeper, then it's not the most oxygenated level, okay? And it's not going to intermingle with this upper layer up here with all the wave training and where the vegetation is across that layer. So you're not going to have a lot of oxygen in there, okay? So you're probably not going to find a whole bunch of fish down there. Now, let's talk about this middle layer. This middle layer here, that 1, 2, 3, that second layer in the middle, okay? That layer is going to give you the best combination of oxygen and water temperature. And the reason for that being, it's kind of interacting just a little bit with that top layer. You know, you ever been in a swimming pool and you jumped in the deep end and you went down, you notice that water got cooler down there? The only thing is you didn't have to try to breathe down there. So the same thing is what happens when the thermocline sets up. You're going to have that second layer, and the water's going to be cooler, much cooler than that top layer, but it's not going to be as cool as that bottom layer. It's not going to have as much oxygen as the top layer, but it's going to have more oxygen than the bottom layer. It's that layer where you're going to find the fish. And you can use your down imaging. I've even seen it on live scope, guys, if you crank the gain up enough. You want to get out, what I like to do is go across the river channel in the lake, and that's where I like to check the thermocline at. Now, one of the things you need to make note of and remember is that the thermocline is not as, it may or may not be the exact same level all the way across the entire lake. I was out with a couple of friends who took me out, you know, about 2 weeks ago and put me on some shell crackers, and we fished a part of the lake that I haven't been in probably 20 or 30 years. So one of the things that was surprising was how shallow the thermocline was on the shallow end of the lake. I mean, we saw crappie in like 7 feet of water, where on the other parts of the lake I see them down 14, 15, 16, 17 feet deep. You know, so it's not like you can just get somebody to tell you where the thermocline is, because on a given body of water, the thermocline may not be at exactly the same depth. The upper and lower end of the lakes most likely have a different level of the thermocline. Other things that impact it is the composition of the bottom. You know, if you have a bottom that's dark or muddy, and it's absorbing, it's shallow and it's absorbing that sunlight, it's going to heat up quicker, okay? If you have a major river coming into a lake with cooler water coming in on the upper end of the lake, that's going to contribute to it. So, you know, this thermocline, I see people on social media say, oh, the thermocline's at 16 feet. Well, the thermocline may be at 16 feet in the area where you checked it at that given time, okay? So, but it definitely has the potential to be at, and most likely to be at different levels from the upper end of the lake to the lower end of the lake. So use your electronics, go out there and try to find that thermocline. Now, guys, we got a storm. I mentioned the storms, and there's one on the way right now. You know, I'm going to try to show you some footage here of a few fish getting caught, but once again, I want to try to give the old thumb here a rest so it can heal. And but I'm going to try to catch a few fish and see if I can get you some using the techniques and using the information that I just gave you. I want to go around this lake, guys. I constantly kind of keep up and track maybe 15 to 20 large schools of fish, and what I'll do is I want to go out, maybe see if I can get you some video footage of some of those schools of fish and maybe catch, you know, 1 or 2 fish. So, you know, with that being said, let's go ahead and get out on the water and let's see what we can find. Remember, you want to find where the thermocline is. And guys, I'll admit this to you. I fished on this body of water so long and this particular lake, I pretty much know where the thermocline exists in the various parts of the lake. I don't really go out and check it every time, because from one year to the next, the temperatures aren't changing that drastically from one year to the next. So I pretty much know in this lake the areas that they're going to be in. You know, it's just from fishing. It just comes from experience and being out there on the water. But if you're on a new lake, or you're just getting you're on a lake that you're familiar with, that you don't have that information yet, use your electronics, use your down imaging. You know, crank up the sensitivity, go out. You're going to see the water's going to look clear. When you look at your down imaging, the water will look clear down to a certain point. And then you're going to start looking like it's some interference or something down there. That interference could be the denser water reflecting your signal back up. Or it could be, since that water is separated, it's cooler, it's denser, it's not allowing that water to mix with the upper level, you could have sediment down there in that particular layer. Which is why in the fall, when the lake turns over and the water starts back mixing, sometimes the lake may smell funny. You may also notice that it starts changing color, you know, gets a little cloudy. That's because that sediment and everything that's been trapped down in that lower layer is now being allowed to mix with the upper layer. So, you know, I hope I think I've covered all the important things you need to know about the Thermocline. And I may have to run out of here and run back at a different time, guys, because there's a cloud that's looking pretty mean coming this way. So but once again, I want to go out here now and see if I can show you some clouds of fish, show you some schools of fish. Got him. Nailed him to the wall, folks. Nailed him to the wall. Summer slabs, baby, summer slabs. Gotta love it. Come on, baby. Okay, lift off, folks. Nailed another butte. Woohoo! Look at that. Jump like a bass. That, my friends, is a pretty fine fish. That is a pretty fine fish, folks. Look at that. There we go, coming down. Guys, I got some. Guys, it's starting to thunder. I am going to have to get out of here with what I got. Hope you enjoyed these tips. Wish I could stay a little longer, but the lightning bolts are about to start falling. I mean, as you can see, this particular ledge that I'm on is absolutely just stacked with fish. Wish I could stay here, but that cloud's really giving me the scare. That thunder's already warned me. I mean, those fish are down there in that thermocline and they are not budging. Oh, I gotta go. That one hit pretty close. Time to go, folks. Well, guys, looks like I'm gonna have to cut this short. You know, I wanted to get out there and catch you some more fish. You know, I gave you some good information. Got 1 or 2 fish here in this video, but look over there. Starting to thunder and lightning. That is one nasty cloud. It's gonna be here in maybe 5 minutes tops. Looks like this out that way. That's why you gotta make sure you keep your head on a swivel. You know, look like that out front. I turn around. These clouds have a tendency to hang low to the ground, so when you know anything, it'll come across the top of those trees and be right there on you. But anyway, if you like these, as always, if you like these videos, please do me a favor right now. Please reach up, click subscribe and like. Make sure you click the notification bell so you'll be alerted when future videos are released. Thanks for watching Hook Legend.